Everything you need to know to begin your parts work practice. Here are some answers to the most common questions beginners ask about parts work. So whether you are learning about parts work for the first time or are just getting started with your parts work practice, this video has the answers to your questions. If you have heard of IFS or parts work before, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel because that is what we are about here. And ain't nobody talking about parts work the way that I am talking about parts work. What is parts work? Parts work is an emotional healing modality based on the understanding that everyone's inner world is actually an ecosystem of many different parts. The core belief of parts work is that there are no bad parts, that every single part of you is only ever trying to protect you in the best way they know how, even the ones who don't have the most helpful behavior or outcomes. Instead of pathologizing or demonizing the parts of you trying to protect you through more extreme problematic behavior, parts work allows you to help those parts of you feel safe enough to let down their metaphorical weapons and armor so you can find the root cause of their pain and help them release it at the root. And once their pain is released, their behavior won't have to be so extreme. You might be surprised how often these troublemaker parts take a 180-degree turn and become actually some of your most helpful parts. What is the purpose of parts work? The purpose of parts work is to create the quality of connection with yourself that allows you to safely access and release the root cause of your trauma. Parts work is also beneficial for taking steps forward in your life, not just healing the past. Among many other things, parts work allows you to better understand your emotional patterns so you can make a strategic plan about how to make progress toward the life that you want in a way that actually honors all parts of you. Why should I care about parts work? In my opinion, parts work is the single most effective tool to both heal the wounds of your past and achieve your goals for the future. And it makes the present moment quite a bit better too, because you are never alone. You've always got your parts. And when your parts start working together, it gets really, really cool in your inner world and in your head. Parts work will help your emotions make sense. Your relationships make sense. Your entire life makes sense. And with that clarity, you will have the power to make more conscious and aligned decisions with how you want to live your one precious life. What are the benefits of thinking about myself in terms of parts? Many people initially think that parts work would lead to further fragmentation and confusion, when really it leads to the opposite, a greater sense of wholeness and clarity. There are two main reasons for this. When you can view the many different parts of you as individual beings, you can then be in a relationship with them. This allows you to create the quality of connection with yourself that will allow for the most impactful healing and forward movement. A sense of wholeness comes when all of your parts learn to work together as a team. Parts work allows us to have a productive conversation with our parts, with the voices in our head, which helps us better understand what's actually going on inside of us instead of staying stuck trying to figure it out analytically. There is some data you can only collect about yourself in relationship and in conversation. Parts work allows you to access that clarity from the inside. What's the difference between parts work and multiple personality disorder? Even though everyone's inner world is composed of an ecosystem of many different parts, there are some folks who have experienced so much trauma that separated their parts so far away from one another that they can be in one part and all the other parts are unconscious. And those are the folks that are usually the ones that therapists would diagnose with dissociative identity disorder. But it is completely normal to have multiple voices in your head, to feel like you have different parts of you with different agendas, because it's true. We all have that. That doesn't mean that we have multiple personality disorder. When folks get diagnosed with multiple personality disorder or DID, it's because their parts have been so fragmented and separated from one another that they can't even have an internal dialogue anymore. Is parts work the same as the internal family systems or IFS modality? Parts work is the generalized term for any modality that works with the inner world in terms of parts. Within the umbrella of parts work, there are many different modalities. So internal family systems is one of them. Structural dissociation, transactional analysis, gestalt therapy, those are also other ways to work with our parts among countless other modalities. In my opinion, IFS is the parts work modality that does the best job of explaining the mechanics of how to work with your parts and in the inner world most effectively, because it's the most relational. It also is a modality that is finally bringing the concept of parts into more mainstream psychology and conversation. Is parts work a trauma-informed modality? Parts work is the trauma-informed modality. This is because a core component of parts work is the belief that you have no bad bad parts. It's inherently de-shaming, and once the shame is taken out, a lot more can heal. Any behaviors that you have that don't lead to productive outcomes aren't seen as something wrong with you, but rather as a part of you acting on a trauma response in an effort to keep you safe. It's a big difference in the story that we're telling there. So many of our parts are stuck living in our trauma and don't realize how much time has passed since the traumatic events. Parts work helps us retrieve those parts from the past, bring them into the present moment, and work to create a future that is safer and better than our past, all in a safe way that honors the trauma your parts have endured and are carrying. Can parts work help me in my relationships? Oh my God, yes. For me personally, parts work is what has finally helped my relationship make sense and provided me with the communication skills I need to deepen the connection of my relationships. Attachment patterns and trauma work can be confusing, especially in relationships. Parts work is what helped those patterns make sense. And it gives you the skills to communicate what's happening inside of you with your partner in a way that helps it make sense to them as well. It also helps you better understand what's happening inside of not only yourself, but your partner too, because they also have parts. Can parts work help me move forward in my life? Parts work will help you move forward in your life by helping you resolve any past trauma that is still blocking you. It'll also help you get clearer about what it is you want, and it will help you build the quality of connection and safety you need with yourself to take those courageous steps forward toward the life of your dreams. Parts work is what allows you to live the life of your dreams from the inside out. Once you build a solid relationship with yourself and your parts, you will be amazed by what you are able to accomplish in the outer world. Where can I go to learn more about parts work? The #1 book I recommend from the IFS modality is called No Bad Parts by Dick Schwartz. Greater Than the Sum of Our Parts is also a good one if you're into audiobooks. I also created an online course called Parts Work Academy that is obviously about guiding you through the process of parts work every step of the way so you can create the life of your dreams from the inside out and heal your shame for good. And of course, this channel. Make sure to like and subscribe because we've got a lot of parts work magic coming at you. Cultivating a parts work practice is the difference between struggling to heal your trauma and actually healing your trauma. I have seen this over and over again in my own life and also in the lives of my clients. If you want to start your own parts work practice, a great place to start is my free Meet a Part of You worksheet. You can check that out using the link in the description. And there are lots more helpful videos where this came from, so make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.